yourself and you don't know how to say something gently, well, yeah, people are going to come unhinged because you're going to attack their character. You're going to name call. You're going to,
or just like I've seen people just like have no opinions about almost anything, because then they don't have to have conflict. They're like, it's fine, or I'm not sure what I believe, or whatever else like that. So then you just avoid. I was asking Nicole this morning. I said, because I was thinking about the answer that we gave last week about our marriage, saying we were best friends and stuff. And what if like only one person wants to get better?
And that's very common.
Yes. And so like,
or for the most part, right?
Yes, often. And so like, what if like the woman really wants to engage and have intimacy and stuff like that, but their husband's always working, like doesn't engage with the kids, doesn't lead spiritually, just has like, no drive for anything and doesn't want to have these conversations. Like that's really, really hard. So I asked Nicole, what would you tell another woman if they're in that case? And so she said, find a mentor who understands what you're going through, but here's the key, but won't condemn your husband.
Yeah, because that's not helpful.
No, but that happens a lot, right? Like they'll get in a group and everyone will still like give him, affirm that like, how your husband's a piece of shit, loser. This and that, stuff like that. No, get someone who understands, it's not helpful. Someone you can share everything with, but won't condemn your husband, but you will pray. And like, I mean, and I know there's people that are just awful situations where their husbands have done just terrible really things. Yeah. And so but I know that God has created this world and he's extremely powerful.
And he's very gracious.
And he will heal and he will give you what you need where you're at right now.
And so I would say, and this brings me back to the Rat Neck podcast where Brian says, if we really understand the gospel, we would realize that we're no better than those people that do those awful things, right? Yes. And I think that a lot of time, myself and others, we don't think that. We literally actually think we're a bit better than, right? And that leads to a skewed version of a vision of ourselves and probably of others in God, right? So.
I'll put that's what Gary was referring to, is like the conversation I had, if you've missed it, on the Furiously Show. Podcast. Yeah, I can't remember what episode number it is, but I'll put it on the screen.
It's one of my favorites. So. I did just listen to the other one too from Canadian Food Grains guy.
Oh, okay. What'd you think of that?
That was very interesting.
What was interesting?
It was interesting because I've hung out with him numerous times and never talked to him, right?
Oh, wow.
Because I've went to lots of events with him, right? Like,
okay.
Young Canadian young farmers, outstanding young farmers, all these things where he's spoken. And I've been on the Canadian Food Grains Committee for like 5 years, fundraising in Abbotsford.
Oh, wow. You didn't know the director?
Well, I just didn't know him as well as I do after listening to his podcast with you where he asked
you've
a lot
talked
of personal
to him,
questions. Yeah, I said hi, that's it. Like,
yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. It was amazing.
It was great
Just
conversation.
the guy that does his septic work, Chilliwack Septic, texted me and said, hey, there's this guy that you should talk to. Jeff. Thanks, Jeff, for recommending him. Yeah. So I'm like, sure, whatever. Texted him and he came over and I knew nothing. And I just said, let's just chat. And then like you hear that like his son died and like going through all that stuff and just his own story. And
it's meant to be. You had it.
Wow.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of good stuff there.
Wow.
It's really cool. Okay, let's wrap her up.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Have a great week, guys. Whatever week it may be for you. Not sure where we're at, but
if you have questions, you can send them in anonymously on my website or just on our social media, and we'll talk about it here on the podcast. Subscribe to it on YouTube. We will. Gary has to go pee so bad.
Oh, it's so bad.
Thanks, guys. Peace.
So bad. And I got showings right away.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed that episode and were blessed by it, would you be willing to support the show? That would help a lot in creating more content, improving the quality of the content, putting the production value, getting more guests on, and me being able to spend more time and energy towards it. So if you're interested in doing that, you can click up here and it'll take you to a support page. But you can also subscribe to the podcast by clicking over here and doing that. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.